We're here with Matt Murphy, one of the newest Cyclones to join the club here for the 2024-2025 season, a defenseman with some great experience jumping aboard here with the Clones. Matt, congrats on the deal, man. Welcome to Cincinnati. We're looking forward to having you here. Where are you spending the summer?
Yeah, thanks, Dana. I'm really looking forward to it. It all came together really nicely. I'm super excited to get to Cincinnati and get things going. I'm in Fredericton, New Brunswick. It's on the east coast of Canada. I grew up here. It's where I'm from. I went to university here as well. So it's a cool little city. Well, it's the capital of New Brunswick, but in terms of, like Cincinnati and some of the bigger cities in America, it's definitely smaller. So I grew up here and I love it here. So I've kind of come back every single summer and have my off season here.
It looks beautiful. I mean, I remember looking it up when, correct me if I'm wrong, Willie O'Ree's hometown. I remember
Yeah,
looking it up a
exactly.
few
Yeah.
years back.
Yeah.
That just seems like an unreal spot. So that's great
Yeah.
to be back. You get to see family and friends and stuff over the summer too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, obviously, like I said, I grew up here, so I have a lot of childhood friends that a lot of them, I'd say like close to 80% of them still live around here. So it's definitely a bit of reunion every time I come home and I get to see a lot of friends. And the majority of my family is either living right in Fredericton or nearby in New Brunswick. So
Nice.
yeah, it's amazing. It's very, very much so a close knit group within my family and my friends. So kind of that small city type mentality. And once you get back, everyone comes together and family dinners and everything like that. So I definitely get to spend some good quality time with family and friends when I'm home.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, you're back here in North America for this upcoming season. Last year, for folks that don't know, you spent the majority of it playing over in the EIHL in Manchester. I'm fascinated by that experience and love talking to guys who go over and
Yeah.
play in, the Italian leagues, the Dell in Germany. What was the experience like for you playing in Manchester? Did anything kind of
Yeah.
catch you off guard, or was it, pretty much how you were expecting it to be?
I mean, I hadn't, so I started the season off in Slovakia last season. And things just didn't really work out. The team was struggling a little bit. And then anyways, I ended up getting released from Slovakia. And then I quite quickly transitioned into Manchester. One of my close friends, who's also from Fredericton, I played
Hmm.
with my University of New Brunswick, Cam Critchlow. He's the captain there, and he's been on the team for about 4 or 5 years. So, anyways, Critch reached out to me, and that's kind of how that all transitioned. Then I landed there. I didn't really know what to expect because it all happened so quickly. I didn't really have time to, like look up Manchester, do much due diligence on it. But I loved it. It was super great. Critch is from Fredericton, so a familiar face. There was a couple other East Coasters there, and the coaching staff, and the GM, and the owner were super great. And the city's really, really nice. I mean, the city was great. The UK, like the British players, not or British players, but also people around like the city and the country, they
Yeah.
they seem to love Canadians, and just like we can kind
Who
of pick
doesn't
up.
love Canadians?
Yeah, I suppose. But just like we can pick up on their accent when they're in North America, they can the same for
Yeah.
us. And so it would just be like I'd be out getting a coffee, and someone would be like, "You're not from around here, huh? Like, where are you from? This and that." And it was really great. I mean, the people amongst the team, but then also like all around the city were super welcoming, super super friendly. A lot of them, like if they weren't fans of the team, and because we had a decent fan group, but if they weren't fans of the team, they likely may have never even heard of ice hockey, or they didn't
Sure.
know that there was an ice hockey. Obviously it's more like European football, or obviously American football for us, but for them,
Yeah.
they call it football. I think the true word of it, or whatever, the sport,
Yeah.
of true sport associated with the word. But anyways, yeah, so like it was cool. It was a great experience. I really, really enjoyed my time there. And yeah, I have nothing but good things to say about Manchester Storm, like as an organization, but also about the entire country. It was a really cool experience, and I loved it.
Did you overlap at all with City or United being in action? Like, did you guys
Yeah,
get
yeah.
to
Well,
to
they
go
play.
out
I
and
don't really
check them
know
out?
what their schedule is, but they play like
It
the
seems like all
majority of
year.
our hockey season. They play it like I'd say very close to like full year round. They don't have a whole lot
Yeah.
of an off season, but they may have like certain breaks within it, but I don't know that they have like a true off season, sort of like hockey does. I don't know for sure. I'm not a huge football fan, um, but they we did overlap, and I went to I think my second night there. I went to a Man U game, and
Oh,
it was super cool. I mean, I'm not like the biggest fan of the sport. I don't dislike it. I've just never been like a huge fan of it where I watch it all the time or know a whole lot about
yeah.
it. but just the atmosphere there was quite amazing. Like it was super cool. It was a lot of fun. Like everyone around the city is just like on wheels when they play. And Man U, I never got to a Man City game, but Man U is like has one of the greatest histories in sports, I believe.
Right.
So it was, yeah, it was really, really cool. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, everyone there obviously is a diehard Man U or Man City fan. So if you're not like in between for the most part, it's very much one extreme or the other. So there's quite a
Yeah.
rivalry there. And yeah, it was really cool. It was fun to be a part of and like see some things and be able to go to some games, things like that.
I mean, people travel from everywhere to go see those teams, and you had them
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
backyard. That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
let's transition here to Cincy. Captain here, Justin Vive. You played that COVID year with him
Yeah.
in Fort Wayne, won a championship. Walk me through. I would assume that he had a decent role in kind of making things happen here with you in Cincinnati, but walk me through a little bit of the decision process and some of the connections that you might have here.
Yeah. Well, it was quite for me, quite a quick and easy decision. I had made the decision I was going to come back and play the season in North America, and I was kind of speaking to a couple teams and thinking about where I was going to go and things like that, and then heard nothing but great things about Cincinnati from Justin when I played in Fort Wayne with them. So that's what I did. I reached out to Viver, and I just basically told him what I just told you. I just said that I would make transition, come back to North America, like was curious if there may be any interest from Cincinnati or Jason or yourself, or if you guys would be interested in having a phone call or a chat about it. And Viver was, he sounded quite excited to hear from me, and he said like, yeah, he said we've been looking for kind of an older, mature D man that can kind of fill in the role of the leadership type thing on the back end and whatnot. And he said that he was going to reach out to the coach, and then I think maybe 2 hours later or so, Jason gave me a call, and I had a good phone call with Jason. We had a good chat about things and talked all about the hockey, about the city, about different things. And then it just felt like a really good fit.
Happens quick.
I already knew Justin super well. I mean, well, we played 1 year together, but I knew him quite well. I got to know him really good. I mean, Justin's been there forever, and he's, a very good hockey player, but also an even better person and a great leader.
Yeah.
So I knew him speaking highly of Cincinnati. It must be a really good city. And like probably maybe 48 hours after I first texted Justin, I was signing the contract. So it happened really quickly. And, I'm super eager to get there. And I was really excited and happy things worked out. And yeah, I'm just, thrilled. I've never been to Cincinnati. I've heard nothing but great things. So I'm super excited to get there and get things going.
You mentioned a little bit what Justin was saying this team is looking for as a piece on the back end. For Cyclones fans, Coast fans, Central Division fans, tell us a little bit about your game and where it's kind of progressed to, and maybe even on top of that, what you really would love to focus on here this coming season.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm a two-way defenseman, I would say. I definitely like to contribute offensively, and I've shown glimpses of that in the past in the ECHL and in different leagues that I can have some offensive upside in my game. But I try to do that without lacking and being a liability defensively. So,
Yeah.
I definitely pride myself on being a 200-foot player, contribute in smart ways offensively when I can. And definitely, on the back end, I've normally played penalty kill and will block shots and, love getting in the, gritty areas to kind of do those types of things because those are just important to win hockey games. So that's kind of the role I'd like to take. I've only played like 50 or 60 games in the ECHL. So by those
Yeah.
standards, it definitely wouldn't be considered a veteran, but I've came in at 24, 25, I believe, and I had some stints up in the American League and then over in Europe. So I definitely consider myself and, pride myself in trying to be a leader this year, to come in and, be an anchor on the back end on and off the ice. And that's kind of, yeah. And that's kind of my view of my game and my background of all that. In terms of my goals for this season, I've been fortunate enough in the past to win some championships with other teams. I'm 29 now, so once you get to a certain age, you start taking it year by year with hockey, and I don't know how many more years I'll have in me, like 3 or 4 likely, but I really would love to try to win another couple championships before I'm finished. So that's my biggest goal, especially this year. I know Cincinnati has always been a pretty dominant force in the league, and I don't know when the last time one is, but I think Cincinnati they always try to put forth the team to do that, to win a championship. That's the goal every year. and yeah, I mean, I know they're not easy to come by, and there's a lot of hard work that goes into putting together a championship team and doing the work on and off the ice. But really, that's my main focus. I feel like every season going into it, you try to win a championship, and especially getting into your latter part of your hockey career, you definitely really focus on that, and definitely it takes priority over a lot of things. So that's really my big focus, and I think the goal of this year.
As we wrap up, let's build on that. I feel like so many people describe their careers in hockey as the best parts is, the memories that you're taking away from it. And already your stage in your career, you've got some pretty great championship memories. You've won at
Yeah,
almost every level. You got the Kelly Cup in the ECHL. You've won at university. You go back to a Memorial Cup team that you had with some pretty big names,
yeah,
McKinnon, Druin,
yeah.
Uyghur. When I talk about those teams, what kind of pumps up into your mind and motivates you going forward to get a title here to Cincy?
Yeah, I mean, well, I've been on both ends. I've been super fortunate to win at nearly every level I've played at. So you talk about memories, and obviously when I think about how all those championships are by far the top ones. Winning
Yeah,
as a team after going through so much hard work and sacrifices and things like that. Like obviously those stand out. Those moments of it was all worth it, and feeling that championship like come into action. But I've also been on the other end of it. I've lost in the finals in junior. I lost in the finals in University Cup. That I really know what it feels like to lose, and I think I'm super fortunate to have experienced both sides of that. That I
hmm.
know how bad it sucks and how much like heartache it is losing and going through so much effort and falling short. And I know how amazing it is to get the job done and accomplish, the end goal. So I think that having both sides of that has really given me the motivation to really strive for the end goal being in your favor every single season. And hockey's one of those games. I mean, every sport is. You can be the best team and sometimes fall up short. That
Yeah,
it's really difficult to really put together and actually win the championship. That's kind of every year. I guess that's where like my motivation comes, is to always try to get that end goal and to finish the season off the way that you dreamt to do it at the beginning of the season.
you absolutely never know. Hottest team in April can just go on a roll and play great for two
Yeah,
months, and you never know.
yeah,
Matt,
absolutely.
this has been great. Thanks so much for taking the time, man. We're so happy to have you here in Cincy. Great to meet you, and travel here safely. We'll be seeing you in just a few weeks here out on the ice. It's going to be great.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't look forward to it. Yeah, thank you very much, Dan. It was good talking with you as well.